We're live here on Facebook, so if you're watching us, give us the old thumbs up, give us a smiley face, and let us know you're there. Just hit the like button and tell us you're there. Hi, my name is Dr. Kirk Fisnick, and this is the Sisel World Team. I guess we're the SWT team, the SWAT team now, and the Sisel products are so incredible. I mean, I'm telling you, they are so incredible that it's, we hear stories all the time. Last Friday, to be exact, a new product came out. They introduced the new Sisel Safe CBD. If you can see that bottle there, and here I get it out of the shadows there, so you can see that. But it arrived in these really nice packaging. And I got mine on Monday. I ordered it on Friday. I got it on Monday. I was outside here. I'm going to give a little testimonial right away. I was outside here moving some heavy, wet snow. And when I got done at the end of the day, my back was stiff and sore. That leg that had been nearly ripped off in the motorcycle accident was bothering me. And so I took some. I took what was recommended for somebody my size, and which I know, Alan, you're going to make fun of it, and you're going to say I probably should take the whole bottle, but I won't say that. Anyhow, I for somebody my size, and I took just a little bit, and within 15 minutes to half an hour, all of the spasms in my back had dissipated. I felt amazingly better within 15 to 20 minutes. And then what I noticed is throughout the rest of the evening, I just started feeling more relaxed. And for people who know me, they know that I don't relax very good. I'm always hopping here and hopping there. I got to have something in front of me. I got to be working. If I'm not working, I'm sleeping. That's the two things I'm doing. And I'm doing something or I'm sleeping. And I found after taking the Sisel CBD product, I actually felt like I was relaxing. I went to bed that night and I slept through the night. And I woke up the next day and on Tuesday, and I felt great. And I realized, you know what? That's the first full night of sleep, first full restful night that I've had since my motorcycle accident 12 years ago. And there's a long story to go with it that I'm not going to share because I'd spend the next 2 hours telling you that. But yeah, I slept good. And so I've been doing the Sisel CBD every day since, and I've just had great sleep every night since I took it. And on Tuesday on the Doctor's Clinic call, if you haven't listened to the Doctor's Clinic call, go on the YouTube channel, the Sisel World Team YouTube channel, and listen to the call from Tuesday. We talk a little bit about the benefits of CBD. And one of the things that they say about CBD is that if you take it at a certain time and you take it, it's going to actually help you so that you fall asleep better. But if you take it and you take it like right before you go to sleep, if you don't have any trouble falling asleep, it's going to make it so that you have better sleep maintenance. And that's what I needed. I needed to have that full night's rest. And pretty amazing. I've really been surprised because I've been taking CBD, illegally. Here in North Dakota, I've been taking CBD illegally for the last 3 years, and I haven't had this kind of an effect. And so I'm really pleased with our new product. And so I recommend anybody that's having trouble sleeping, take a look at this. And we can't make any claims, medical claims, anything like that. I'm just saying that I slept better, and I'm guessing you might too. So with that, I'm going to run up to my buddy up in Canada, Alan Hordell. Alan Hordell's been in the network marketing industry, about 40, 45 years now, since dirt was invented. And Alan, you've had some amazing results with the products, just like me. You got in a really bad accident and we're in the hospital for quite a while. You were actually in a coma longer than me, but share a little bit about what you've noticed.
Well, good evening, everybody, and thanks for inviting me to the call tonight, Kurt. It's interesting when you talk about that and you talk about your experiences. I had virtually the same experience as you did in a horrific accident, which I'm not going to go into detail either, because that could take another 2 hours, as well as your incredible situation. But we went through very similar accidents, one being your leg and one being my shoulder and my arm, way back, about the same time, within a year apart of each other. And one of the things that when I was going through my nerve transplants and muscle transplants and going through all kinds of crazy things in operations that I never thought I'd ever experienced as a professional athlete in the world of hockey and racing snowmobiles and everything, I never thought in my life at the age of 52 that I would ever have to experience this dreadful thing, this dreadful accident that, did actually claim my life. And thank God to some great doctors retrieved me back from the my deathbed. And so in saying that, it was remarkable. I was just talking with Tom Maurer the other day through a messenger system, and we were talking about myself being in the company 10 years. And one of the things that what happened to me after my accident and being in the hospital and in body casts and everything else, I wound up gaining a lot of weight. I wound up gaining 75 pounds. I wound up gaining all kinds of horrific things happening to me. When you get to be over the age of 50, these start to happen to you anyway. I mean, that's called aging. But when you get in an accident like Kurt and I had, it happens faster, because we just don't have the mobility anymore. We're restricted to operations and everything else. So I wound up with diabetes, type 2 diabetes. And I remember so distinctly back 10 years ago when I talked, in fact, it was 10 and a half years ago. I talked just about coming up to 11 years in May. I was talking to Tom Maurer, and we were talking about having incredible supplements that could start to replenish my nerve transplants that I had, not knowing that I'm going to have muscle transplants coming up in the near future. And Tom started talking to me about this, and Tom's a brilliant man. He's an absolute brilliant man when it comes to science and biology and chemistry and putting products together. And Tom started talking to me like that. And I already gained quite a bit of weight, and I was already diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And Tom said to me, he says, I'm going to bring out a product this coming September, Alan. And he says, and Tom spent over 2 hours. I'll never forget it that day. He spent over 2 hours with me. And I knew Tom from his company before called New Ways, that went to be the 5th largest company in the world. And, Tom said to me, I'm going to bring a product out with micellar protein. He said, I'm going to bring a product out to the marketplace that's absolutely going to tear up the marketplace when it comes to a protein shake. And it got me excited. It really got me truly, truly excited. And I said to Tom, and I was already with the company for 10, so I was already with the company for 12 years coming up to that stage. And I was not looking at actually changing into another company. I'll be very honest. And Tom said, and I said to Tom, I said, if you bring this product out, as soon as you get it, you send it to me and I'll join your company. And come September of that year, we got back in a call and he says, it's ready, Alan. I've got a product called micellar protein. It's called Siseline. And he says, I want you to try it. He sent me a whole tub of it. And I started on that product. And Lord help me. I'm as far as I'm sitting right here today, within time, I started losing weight. My blood sugar count started coming down. And now it took a long time. It took a long time because I was going through a lot of I had 9 operations. So it took a long time. But in the meantime, I started taking Vacoitin. I started taking Spectramax. I started taking Eternity. These were the lifeblood of Sisel back in those days. We didn't have the age pill and everything else up until that time. And we started working the business included. I had no interest in working the business. I'll be honest with you. was only worried about putting my life back together, as I know Kurt was after his accident. I was worried about putting my life back together. They were going to cut my arm off. They were going to say that I was going to be an invalid. I wasn't going to be able to do this. I wasn't going to be able to do that. And I said hogwash. And so today, to make a long story short, along with the age pill, the so many more of the products, I could just go on and on, because I purchase, and Kurt knows this, I purchase anywhere from $300 to $500 to $600 worth of products a month, including the adaptogenic coffees. I mean, people, when I use the word adaptogenic, most people don't even know what I'm talking about. But when you talk about Coca-Cola and Bacapa and Shaga and waking up every morning to that amazing coffee, which is absolutely incredible, and waking up to a micellar protein. Here's my regimen in the morning. I use the micellar protein. I use a banana, and I use a green ripish banana. I don't use an overripe banana because of the sugar content. I use kind of a greenish banana. And then I have 2 cups of adaptogenic coffee, Sisel coffee, every single morning. And I can honestly tell you, and I can show you this by blood reports. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and give you a testimonial and give you a bunch of, what. I'm going to tell you the truth. And I can give this by my doctors. And I have several doctors. My blood sugar content now in the last 4 years has been anywhere from 5.8 to 6.2. I've been free of diabetes 2 now for close to 4 years. And the other thing too is I lost 72 pounds. I gained, to be honest with you, I really I screwed up over the winter time. I gained about actually 20 pounds back. I'm going to head back to the lake this week and get rid of that 20 pounds because it was a bad winter this year and I never got away into the sunshine. And so, Sisel products have changed my life. And when you start changing people's lives with the product, your business will start to grow because you'll start to share it. You really understand what the home-based business is all about. There's so much hype out there. There's so much, of what I call flim-flam, and Tom calls them flim-flam companies and flim-flam products. Let me tell you something about CBD. Over the last year and a half, I've been looking at CBD. And I knew eventually Tom someday would come to the marketplace with CBD. And I'm going to tell everybody on this call today, and this is the last thing I'm going to tell you, is that what I've learned in the last year of CBC is 80% of the product out here isn't what it's supposed to be. It's very, very poor product, very poor quality product. You don't know what you're buying, and it's buyer beware. When Tom talks about a COA, certificate of authenticity, that's easy for you to say, Alan. But anyways, you know what I'm talking about, COAs, and talking about having a license to manufacture. And there's very few of those in the United States. And Supernaturals is one of them. That's Tom's company that has a license to manufacture CBD for Sisel. This is a very fine product. Unfortunately, we can't use it in Canada. We're not legal in Canada yet. United States is the only one virtually that we can market into. But understand one thing: if you are in Canada or you are in Australia, I know it's disappointing for us not to be able to have the CBD. I know it. I'm on a prescription CBD. I'm very fortunate to be able to take CBD. But if you are in those countries that's not allowing CBD, don't hold that back. Don't let it hold you back. Get a hold of people that are in the United States. Start to market in the United States. You're a member of Sisel. You can market anywhere. Start to market in the United States. Eventually, the governments of Canada, and we're working on it, Tom's working on it, the company's working on it. Eventually, the governments are going to say, yes, we legalized marijuana, but we forgot about CBD. How crazy is that? We legalized everybody to smoke marijuana in Canada legally, but we forgot about CBD. That's right. And it's a sad thing. So, thankful to Tom and Sisel and to working with Kurt over several years now, and 10 years of being with the company and seeing the product that Tom's put forward and brought forward. It's remarkable because the products work. They truly do work. And I got a letter today, I was kind of kidding Kurt about it, but I got a letter today saying, congratulations on being selected for Sisel's recognition wall. We're incredibly honored, proud to feature your achievements front and center. In order to make this happen, we need a few things. Sisel's moving forward in the right direction now. It had all kinds of ups and downs like any company does. But I'm going to honestly tell you that Sisel's moving forward in the right directions right now to be a massive company. and it's going to take some more time. But you know, the diligence of the company, the company's here to stay. It's one of the strongest companies out in the market. Tom is a true leader at 76 years of age. I mean, this man is 50 years old as far as I'm concerned, and he's a great leader. He's a great man. He knows what he's doing, and it's in good hands. Is the road always the smoothest road? No, it's always got bumps and rocks and ups and downs. But you know what? After 41 years of being in the industry, that's just network marketing. That's just network marketing. So thanks very much, Kurt, for letting me share my story and a little bit about myself and a little bit about being with Sisel for 10 years. And I hope another 10 years is going to be incredible. Thanks, Kurt.
All right. Thanks, Alan. Appreciate it. Well, let's run on down over to Australia. I'd like to run over to my friend Marilyn. Marilyn, you're going to have to unmute yourself there. You've muted yourself. There you go. And Marilyn, you know what I'd like to have you do right away? Can you just run across the room and show people how you do that? I'm just kidding.
Kurt, I'd like to start off with, I've been extremely surprised this year by the comments I'm receiving. And the first one came from you when I walked down those steep steps and across the stage to tell people about my bent finger, which is now, as you can see, perfectly straight. You weren't interested in that. All you were interested in was my agility.
That's right.
I have a new neighbour across the road, and last Saturday I went across and introduced myself to them and welcomed them into the cul-de-sac. And the first thing he said to me was, "You look very healthy." I had somebody come here on Thursday, and I've known this person for a very long time, and she said, "You look really healthy." And I feel really healthy. My last medical appointment was January 2009. I'm Tom's age, and for the last 2 years, in November, I've had to front up to my doctor to get a form signed so that I could continue driving. And the 2nd November, when I was at the door ready to leave, he said, "Well, I suppose I'll see you this time next year." He said, "You never get sick." And he was my New Ways upline many years ago. And like Alan, I'm a product of the products. I've used them now for 23 years. Okay, so to get on with what I wanted to talk about. Last year, I got bitten by redback spiders 3 times. If you're an Australian, you'll know it's a tiny little red spider, and people can get dizzy, nauseous. They can actually die. I didn't know I'd been bitten, except that I had this bright red patch here. And at first, I didn't know what it was. And out comes the Terminator. And because I was concerned about it and didn't know what it was, I sprayed it on and off continually all day. When I come out of the garden, the first thing I do is rinse my arms off with Enliven shower gel and water and dry them. And then I come and grab the Terminator. And the Terminator, I don't know whether, can you, oh, what have I done?
You're back. You're there, Marilyn. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here, but I can't see you.
We can see you.
You can see me?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, can you tell me, can you see the Terminator on my dining room table?
We sure can.
And that's, as I come through the conservatory into the dining room, that's where it is, because that's what keeps me, gets rid of all the mosquito bites. They even bite me through the back of my shirt. And I swell because I think I'm allergic to them. So I don't think Terminator ever gets the accolades that it should. Its old predecessor, we called a hospital in a bottle, and we used it for everything. The other thing I want to talk about is Organicleanse. Now, Katie sent you a photo, Kurt. Are you able to put that up?
I'm not right now. I'm sorry.
Okay, because that's why I sent it through, because that was important for people to be able to see. I don't know why I've disappeared off, but never mind, as long as you can see.
We can see you.
On Saturday, I'd won a fish tray the night before at the club. And so on Saturday morning, the first thing, I put the prawns into soak in Organicleanse. I was going to make pea and ham soup, and I put my green split peas into a bowl with Organicleanse. And the bacon hock I put into a saucepan, a stainless steel saucepan, and covered with water with Organicleanse. I had an urgent email come through, and I had to go out, and I was out for hours, and it meant I missed the webinar last Saturday, for which I apologise. And of course, when I came home, my split peas had absorbed all the water up, and I thought, oh wow. Anyway, I rinsed and rinsed and rinsed until the water ran clean. And I did the same with my prawns and the same with my bacon hock. Put it all in the pot and started to cook it, and realised I'd put far too much, well, as I'm cooking it, I always have a bowl beside me, and I skim the scum off the top. And I noticed that, having soaked the green lentils, that the scum was white, not dark, horrible coloured yellow like it always is, and not a lot of it. And I realised I had put too much water, and I hate weak pea and ham soup. So I grabbed some more green peas and didn't have time to soak them, and put them in. And to my amazement, when they started to cook and release, I had this bright, dark, horrible looking scum coming on it. And I popped it on top of the white scum, and the contrast was absolutely incredible. So, you know, if you don't believe or understand how important using Organicleanse is, then I feel sorry for you. It's one of the most important products that, apart from the supplements, that Sisel has produced. Everything in my garden, even though I'm an organic gardener, gets soaked. Every bit of produce, fresh produce I bring in from outside, it gets soaked. Chicken pieces get soaked. As I said, prawns get soaked. The Pacific Ocean is contaminated with radiation from Fukushima when they dumped cesium-130 into our ocean. It's so important. I was just reading an article before I came online here on avocados. Somebody's done some testing in America, and they tested the locally grown American ones and imported ones. And they found that 17% of them had listeria on the skin, and also inside the fruit. I soak avocados. I soak everything. I soak pineapples, even the hard skin things. And Tom taught us, as you're soaking, give it a gentle massage. And I think that must help to release. Now, Sis will tell you to soak for 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. I don't soak anything under 15 minutes, and often quite a lot longer. And sometimes it's difficult to get, when you're rinsing, to actually end up with clean water. Takes a considerable amount of time.
You bet.
When I've done a big fresh shop, I can have 4 or 5 different soaks to do, and it can take me several hours. And I admit it's a pain in the A, but I know my health depends on it.
You bet. Well, you know, Marilyn, thanks for sharing all that. And, you know, for people who are just listening to the call, maybe just getting started with Sisel, because I know a lot of times there's new people that are getting involved. Marilyn's talking about a couple products that, you know, they're not in the top echelon of our best-selling products. They're products they're necessary, as Marilyn's explaining, but they're not the ones that get talked about, because they're not like you know, the CBD. They're not like the, you know, about the like the H2 sticks or anything like that. They're products that are essential, but they're not the showcase products. And so when she talks about the Terminator is a product that uses stabilized chlorine dioxide, and what that does is it kills off unfriendly bacteria and funguses and things like that. But it has some amazing abilities to support your body's healing system. So that's the Terminator that Marilyn talks about. When Marilyn gets a cut, when she gets bitten by a spider, when she has mosquito bites, she puts that on there and it works. And then she talked about another product called Organicleanse. And what Organicleanse is, it's a pre-rinse or a pre-wash that you're supposed to use on your fruits and vegetables, because there it is. Thanks, Marilyn. And the Organicleanse, what it does, it pulls off all the residue of the pesticides. It pulls off the residue of the chemicals that are sprayed on your fruits and vegetables. And as Marilyn explained, she even soaks like the chicken and the prawns in it because it pulls the toxins out. And that's important because we live in a toxic world. Like Marilyn was saying, everything we do is toxic today. So those are two really, really important products. And Marilyn, I really appreciate you sharing that, because I think a lot of people, they look at the showcase products like the CBD, they look at the H2 products, they look at the age product, and they don't look at the products like you've just shared. So thank you. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome, Curtis. As I say, I can't stress the power and the importance of those two products. Terminator, my son will spray it directly into his eyes. I don't have the guts to do that. I put it into the palm of my hands and I'll pat my eyes if I've got an allergic reaction and my eyes are itchy. I believe it'll help to heal conjunctivitis.
Yep. We can't say heal, Marilyn.
No,
Marilyn, we can't say
it.
It supports the body's healing
It will
system.
assist in getting rid of conjunctivitis. It's an amazing product. When it came out, I actually rang Tom Jr.'s PA, and I said to her, the predecessor, we used to call it a hospital in a bottle, and it did this, and this. And I said, would you mind just ducking in and asking Tom, will the Terminator do the same? And back came the reply, yes, and probably a lot more.
All right. Well, Marilyn, I got to run over here to Michael, and I appreciate all your great testimonial. And again, thanks for sharing those two products, especially because I think a lot of people, they're kind of the unsung hero type products. So thank you. Michael, welcome to the call. How are you tonight?
Hi, Kurt. It's Saturday morning over here, so
yeah,
we're a bit ahead of you. You know, they say that if you want to make a lot of money in America, Americans can just ring up Australians and say, "What's the market doing tomorrow?"
That's right.
And
how's it over there tomorrow? How's it going?
Anyway,
how are you going? How are you going? You guys say. Well, you know, Michael, when I was down in Australia last month, and how quickly time goes by. When I was down in Australia last month, you know, we had you over to Trevor's house, and you shared your story. You had just taken some of the products that I brought with, and shared some samples with you, and you had some amazing testimonials that night. If you could share with people a little bit about what you noticed, I appreciate that.
Yeah, a couple of observations. One was due to your great generosity, you gave me some H2 sticks, and about a year before that time, I'd been diagnosed with peripheral neuropathy, mainly just numbness in the feet, and I was told, well, it's just a product of, you know, getting older, you know, your circulation's not as good or whatever. And then I started taking the H2 stick. You know, I brought a bottle along that night that you came to give it to me, and I'd say within about 5 days, the about 95% of the peripheral neuropathy has gone away. And so I've found that quite remarkable. So it's good to have feeling back in your feet. And it's interesting, one of my friends here at the set of units where I'm living, I was chatting with him one day, Bill, and he said, I told him, I had a bit of peripheral neuropathy, and he said, oh yeah, I can't feel my legs below my knees.
Holy cow.
The funny thing is, it can, it's still walking around okay, but it just doesn't have any feeling down there. So, and I'm not sure if he's got diabetes or whatever, but his legs looked okay. So I think there's a lot of people, as you get older, there's a bit of peripheral neuropathy. Also, if you get some osteoarthritis in your spine or your neck, eventually that can develop into neuropathy in your hands, so you start not feeling your fingers. So it can get quite serious. So I think this H2 stick is phenomenal that it can have a result so quickly, and also benefits in other areas of your life. Like I noticed I had more energy, and I try to go for a run for about 30 minutes every day, and I just felt lighter, like when you're running, if you don't feel properly energized by your food or whatever, the running, you can still do the running, but it just feels a bit heavy and you don't go as fast. Whereas with the H2 stick, I noticed the running's a lot more enjoyable because you feel more light on your feet, and you can go faster. I've got a part of my run that I do, I've measured out 100 meters so I can time myself. And I know what is it? The world record for 100 meters, about 9 seconds. I can only do it in 24 seconds. So way to go yet. But anyway, it's good to have a goal and test yourself. It sort of gets the blood going too, gives you a lot of good aerobic activity.
That's right.
And exercise like that, which is good for what I found out too, with the activity, the H2 stick, allows you to run faster. And also I've done some research recently, some YouTube videos on, what is it called? Neuroscience, and also telomere lengthening just by doing exercise, let alone taking TSX or any of the age pill or any of the other products. Just by exercise, it slows down the length, slows down the shortening of your telomeres.
Right.
So that just exercise increases your longevity. So it's a good thing to know.
That's
now, the
great.
second thing I want to do, just mention about radiation from mobile phones and Wi-Fi. It's microwave radiation, and any radiation of that strength damages the DNA. So this is connected with the H pill and TSX in the sense that these products repair DNA. But the problem is, if we don't also become aware of the deleterious effects of radiation, then it's like driving a car with the foot on the brake and the accelerator at the same time. So you've got, with the radiation effects, mobile phone and Wi-Fi, the problem is it damages the DNA. Any radiation above 10 microwatts per cubic square centimeter damages the DNA. And the safety level the US administration has deemed to be safe is 1,000 microwatts per square centimeter. And so all the mobile telephone companies, the cell phone companies, and all the people making these products that give us all the advantages of Wi-Fi and telephones and all that, they make these products that it's all legal for it to be damaging to your DNA. So I think we need to be aware of that. And because we have that damage, and then you take the age pill, so the age pill sort of reduces the damage to the DNA, but you're not making any further advances in your longevity because you're just standing still. So you get the radiation problem, and the age pill will will alleviate it to some extent. But the problem is it doesn't increase your longevity because you're just standing still. You know, your foot's on the brake and the accelerator at the same time. So what I do, just from a practical point of view at home, I don't have any Wi-Fi at home. Not much you can do about Wi-Fi, you know, units around you or houses around you, but at least you can stop that. And also with my mobile phone, I just check the messages, you know, every few hours, and then I'll turn it off. I just check the messages for a few minutes and then turn it off again, or put it in airplane mode. And I've got everything at home. I've just got wired through Ethernet wired connection, so I don't have any Wi-Fi at home at all. And I find that that helps with your energy as well by reducing your radiation, your exposures to radiation like that. And Wi-Fi is just as bad. Wi-Fi is almost as strong as the mobile phone radiation. It's still microwave. So it's very convenient, but it does have bad effects on you. Bluetooth is not so bad. Bluetooth is very, very, very weak. So that's okay. So it's just an observation I came across through some research I came across recently.
You bet. Well, like you said, Michael, you know, when you take a look, we got to be really careful, and we can't say that it does this or does that because, you know, the products like the age pill and the TSX have never actually been tested. We aren't a testing facility, but the ingredients have. So if you take a look at astragalus, the cycloastragenol, the astragaloside, you know, there's research on them, and it shows that they will help with the telomeres by supporting healthy telomeres. So that's what we can make the claim on. We can't make any claims that it does this or does that as far as disease. And then with the age pill, you know, the studies on that, it supports the ingredients of the age pill, the niacin and nicotinaminic acid and the tryptophan, different things we can show the research on those. But the age pill itself, all we can do is say that it supports the systems in your body that help to keep you healthy. You know, and when you're talking about damaged DNA, the one product that I do want to tell you about, Michael, that you really want to look at, it's the ingredient. It's called resveratrol. And resveratrol, it activates the sirtuin genes, and the SIRT1 gene is the gene that helps with the damaged DNA. When the DNA gets damaged, the resveratrol is probably one of the best products on the market for that. And we include really high doses, a high potency form of resveratrol in our Eternity product. So I just wanted to throw that out there. But again, we're talking about resveratrol. We can't make the claims about Eternity. We can't make those medical claims about age pill or the TSX. Just that it improves that. So, Michael, thanks for sharing your testimonial with us tonight. Marilyn, thanks for being on and sharing your testimonial. Alan, thanks for being on and sharing your testimonial tonight. What a great call. Get this out to other people. And I know we ran overtime just by a little bit, you know, by about 10 minutes. And so I'll get this posted on YouTube here in just in the next couple of hours. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Dr. Kurt.